Hello everyone, welcome to the online classes of Biology for class 12th. Today we'll take up chapter 15, Biodiversity and its conservation. Biodiversity can be defined as the totality of genes, species and ecosystems of a given region. Biodiversity term was coined by Edward Wilson. Diversity exists at all levels of biological organization, ranging from the macromolecules within cells to biomes. So, biodiversity is diversity in the biological world. Variety of living organisms, plants, animals, and fungi in our ecosystem are the components. Greater number of different types of species, greater abundance in number of species. Biodiversity can be studied at the following levels: genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecological or ecosystem diversity. These are the images which are showing genetic diversity. Now about the genetic diversity. Greater the genetic diversity among organisms of a species, more sustenance it has against environmental disturbances. The genetically uniform populations are highly prone to diseases and harsh environment. Diversity of a single species at genetic level is genetic diversity. Example is Rauwolfia vomitoria, a medicinal plant. It is a single species having different varieties. It produces a chemical reserpine. Each genetically different plant has reserpine with different potency and concentration. Examples of genetic diversity in India are: one is rice with around 50,000 genetically different strains, and mango with around 1,000 varieties in India itself. These are few images showing the diversity. Again the images showing diversity. The second is species diversity. It is diversity at a species level. The two important measures of species diversity are species richness. It refers to the number of species per unit area, and species evenness. It refers to the relative abundance with which each species is represented in the area. The variety and number of individuals determine the level of diversity of an ecosystem. Examples: potato, brinjal, tomato are different species of same genus Solanum, and tiger, lion, snow leopard are different species of genus Panthera. Again the example for diversity. Now the ecological diversity or ecosystem diversity. It is related to the species diversity and genetic diversity. So the diversity at the level of ecosystem. India has a greater ecosystem diversity than other countries. India has several ecosystems or biomes like rainforests, wetlands, coral reefs, deserts, mangroves. So different ecosystems has different climatic conditions. So different adaptations and different types of plants and animals. A country having greater variety of ecosystems will have greater biodiversity. Some images showing it. Now about the inventory of biodiversity. According to IUCN in 2004, the total number of plant and animal species described is about 1.5 million. The species inventories for taxonomic groups in temperate countries are more complex than the tropical countries. A more conservative and scientifically sound estimate has been made by Robert May. It puts the global species diversity at about 7 millions. More than 70% of all the species recorded are animals, and plants account for about 22%. 70% of the animals are insects. These estimates do not give any figure for prokaryotes. Now, about the pie charts, biodiversity in vertebrates. The blue part is showing fishes, the pink part is showing mammals, the yellow part is showing birds, purple part is showing reptiles, and the sky blue part is showing the amphibians. Now about the biodiversity in plants. Again a pie chart. The blue part is for angiosperms, orange for ferns, yellow for mosses, purple for fungi, sky blue for algae, and the yellowish orange is for lichens. Now the images of different types of microorganisms. The bacterias, rod-shaped, coccus forms, spirillum forms, and so on. Now about the reason that there is no estimate given for prokaryotes. One is that they are too numerous. Diversity runs to millions if classification is based on biochemistry or molecular differences. Many species are not culturable in laboratory, and taxonomic methods are not suitable for microbe identification. Now about the Indian biodiversity. India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world. Though India has only 2.4% of land area of the world, it has 8.1% of the global species biodiversity. There are about 45,000 species of plants and 90,000 to 1 lakh species of animals. Many more species are yet to be discovered and named. If we apply Robert May's global estimate that only 22% of the total species have been recorded, India probably has more than 1 lakh species of plants and 3 lakh species of animals to be discovered and described. This is the data you need to learn. Now about the latitudinal gradients. The patterns of biodiversity is not uniform throughout the world, but it varies with change in latitude and altitude. Favorable environmental conditions favor speciation and make it possible for a larger number of species to exist there. Latitudinal gradients, in it the species diversity decreases from equator towards the pole. The tropics has more species than temperate region. Some data: Colombia around 1400 species of birds, New York 105 species of birds, Greenland 56 species of birds. Now tropics versus polar. The organism found in these regions shown in the image. The reason for greater tropical biodiversity: the Amazonian rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on Earth. It is also called as the lung of planet. 3 hypotheses have been proposed to explain the difference in biodiversity between tropical and temperate regions. One is there is more solar radiation available in the tropical region. This contributes directly to more productivity and indirectly to greater species diversity. As compared to temperate region, tropical environments are less seasonal, relatively more constant and predictable. Such constant environments have promoted niche specialization and greater species diversity. Speciation is basically a function of time. As there is no glaciation, undisturbed tropics, better evolution, so more species diversity. Reduce competition between species due to more resources and effective predators. Now about the species area relationship. Alexander von Humboldt has observed that within a region, species richness increased with increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. It is represented by a rectangular hyperbola. On a log scale, the relationship becomes linear or straight line and is described by the equation termed as the log scale equation. Now we'll start with the mathematical equation for rectangular hyperbola. It is S equals to CA and Z as a superscript, where S is species richness, Z is slope of the line or regression coefficient, A is the area and C is the y-intercept. Now about the log scale. Log S equals to log C plus Z log A. These are few graphs which are showing species area relationship. Now about the value of Z. which is regression coefficient or slope of the line. Ecologists have found out that the value of Z line ranges between 0.1 and 0.2 irrespective of the taxonomic group or the region. But this analysis in very large areas like a continent shows the slope to be much steeper, and the Z value ranges between 0.6 to 1.2. The Z value for frugivorous birds and mammals in the tropical forests is found to be 1.15. Now about the Rivett-Popper hypothesis. Paul Ehrlich has given this hypothesis. He compared the airplane with the ecosystem and rivets as a species. If we take out the rivet, the plane will crash. Similarly, extinction of a species, if keeps on going on, then the ecosystem will break or collapse. We now realize that species richness and diversity are essential for ecosystem health as well as survival of human race on the earth. One more point to be added: important rivet, similar to the important species, if it extincts, ecosystem will break faster. Now the importance of the species diversity in an ecosystem. A stable community has the following attributes. It shall not show too much of variations in the year-to-year productivity. It must be either resistant or resilient to seasonal disturbances. It must be resistive for the invasion of alien species. That means more species, more stability of the ecosystem or the community. David Tillman has shown through his ecology experiments using outdoor plots the following features. The plots with more species showed less year-to-year variations in the total biomass, and plots with increased diversity showed higher productivity. Now about the ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are the free of services provided by the ecosystem or nature. There are few examples that we get from nature or the ecosystem. Food, fiber and fuel, genetic resources, biochemicals, soil formation and retention, many recreational activities. So all these services are free of cost provided by the ecosystem and termed as eco services. Some other services are primary production, nutrient cycling, soil formation and retention, production of atmospheric oxygen, water recycling, invasion resistance, herbivory, pollination, seed dispersal, climate regulation, pest regulation, disease regulation, natural hazard protection, and providing habitat. Now we have discussed the complete chapter. I'm sure you people are able to get a better understanding about the topics. Thank you for the patient listening.